A couple of other new things that we really like and we really think is going to make analyzing your data and reporting with your data a lot more convenient for you are a couple of the new features called custom groups, and we also have custom calculations, which are really new and really neat. Let's see if I can get logged into one of these demos. Okay, so I'm going to click on the dashboard page tab for attribute groups. And so attribute groups or custom groups, if we scroll down here, we're just looking at a simple tabular view of some product data with revenue and build quantity. And if you can look here at the bottom, we have LCD products. Now, LCD products does not exist in the product dimension at all. It's not in our subject area. It's not in our logical layer. It's not in the database. And we'll click on Edit to kind of see what this is exactly. But it's really clean. Ultimately, it's a custom roll-up of maybe one or more elements within one or more dimensions. Okay? So here's our simple analysis IDE or developer view. Here's our tabular view. I'm going to click on Edit so we can kind of get at the details of that custom grouping. And what you might have noticed, I just kind of collapsed something. These are new to 11g as well with the great interface, and they're called sections or panes. I think they're commonly referred to as panes. And we've got a layout pane and a selection steps pane. We'll go into those in greater detail at another point in time. Let's focus on our custom groups. Down here we have the LCD products. If we look up here, this is how these get created. We've got a couple icons, new group or new calculated item. Again, we're focused on the new group. So we actually want to edit this group to kind of see what it's made of. Where does that number come from? How does that get built? So if I click on selection steps to view the selection steps pane, we can see that we've got this step here called LCD products, okay, which is what we were looking at up here in our tabular view. We'll click on that. We'll get an option to edit the group, and one of the new prompts will show up. And what we can see is that LCD products group is made up of the LCD HD television product and the LCD 36X standard product. Now, these can also be higher levels on the roll, higher levels in your hierarchy. So if you had, for instance, a geography dimension, and you had country, province, state, you could actually bring in state over here, knowing that you have a bunch of cities under it, but that would be your actual beginning for your group. So we'll cancel out of that, knowing that LCD products is a combination of LCD 36X standard and LCD HD television, and now we've got a subgroup down here. Now, the same is actually possible for doing, let me back up. If we look at this again, we see this is pretty much just going to give us a summation. It's basically going to roll that up. So I'm sure somebody out there has a question of, well, what if we want to do LCD 36X standard minus or subtract the other LCD product, LCD HD television? Well, in that case, you would use the new calculated item. And I can show you an example of that. So if I go to new calculated item, I'll click on that. And now I have the ability to do something like I just mentioned. I'll move over LCD 36X. I'll now subtract out LCD HD television, bring that over, give it a name. Off chance, percentage, no percentage, off chance, and we'll click OK, and that's going to build out that value for us. So now we have the delta between those two LCD products. Really quickly, really smartly, don't have to go back and build anything in your logical layer. So those are just a couple of items that we want to show for this webinar. Just kind of taking a look at the GUI. I'll have this over to our colleague, Marty Mersinger, and he's going to take a look at some of the other details that he wants to take a look at, which are the map viewer and also possibly the actionable framework within 11g. A lot more great detail, and there's so much to show within this. Again, we're just really highlighting some of our favorite things that we really think are going to make a difference as you go and implement 11g in your organization. And again, guys, if you have any questions, please go ahead and enter those into the question prompt. Marty, it's all you.
All right. Well, welcome to our second seminar on 11g. And the first thing I wanted to go through was the map viewer, the map view, which is totally new in 11g. If you've ever worked with it, with map viewer in 10g, you would have noticed that there was a lot of external coding that had to be done, HTTP, XML, JavaScript, Java setup. With 11g, it's totally integrated, much simpler to use, and a big benefit for the users to be able to leverage this. You'll notice we've got a United States map here with a couple revenues and product measures. The maps are provided by Navtech. This information is some sample data that they provided via Oracle. So it gives you the ability to work with it, leverage it, see what it's like, and then you can always expand out. So the data set with the sample is kind of limited, but you do have the option to go full board on expanding this out. So I just want to step through on how simple 11g goes to make these maps. So we're going to start and we'll kind of redo this, and then I'll show you some of the features of it. So we're going to go over, create a new analysis from sample, and so it's very simple to create a new analysis. We'll start out with, since we're dealing with a geo, we want to bring in our country, and we're going to bring in state. So you can either drag a column over, or you can double click it, as I've done here. I'm going to bring in the product brand. So click on that. And then I bring in my measures, which I've got revenue, and bring in my count. This is the number of products with orders. So very simple. I can create my answers request here. I'm going to add a filter. So this columns already exist on my criteria, so I can add a filter directly from it, just as you could from 11g or 10g, and pop it down, and I can select, I'm going to filter for the US. Just like that. And so that puts my filter into place. And I'm going to add an additional filter because I want to prompt it. Notice when you add a filter from the right-hand side in the filter pane, it gives you the columns that you've already got in your criteria, but you can select ones that aren't part of your existing report, such as time. I can select that. And again, have the is prompted, so it works with my dashboard. So that sets that up. And now all I can do is click on my results. And the first thing it's going to do is put me into a compound layout where it'll have me a title and a default tabular. So I can verify my data's what I'm expecting to see. And now I just want to create a view for the map. So now, very simply, we've got the new views up here. You've got the layout. You've got a lot of the same things that you had in 10G, but you'll notice we've got some new some new views as well. One of those is the map view. So makes it very simple. No additional coding required for this. And I just click on that. Now the maps, depending on your system, take a little bit to generate. So you can see it's taking a little time. I've got it down here. And it gives me a default setting. So you notice my map data is for the US. I can expand this. You've got navigation. You can slide it. You can also use your hand. Just hold and click, and you can move your map around as well. So, and I'm just going to expand this up a little bit so you get the zoom layout. And you also have option of a drop-down legend here, so that it pops in and out of the way. So we want to go ahead and edit this a little bit, get it add some additional features and change some properties around. So we click on our little pencil to edit it. It'll go ahead and generate for us. And so one of the things is I don't like the colors, and I only want three quartiles instead of 4. So I can come in here and do an edit on my revenue. You have a name option. Your tooltips, you can define what you want to see within your tooltip, which is the pop-up bubble. The metric that you're working with. You have options of percentile binning, value binning. Difference is percentile sets it up into percentages. So I'm going to change this to 3. You also have different color styles that you can select from here. And just show you what the value binning is like. I can select value binning, and you can set up your values directly, your min and max. I'm going to go ahead and put it back to percentage, and I'm going to click on this, which is a new option, which allows dashboard users to set the thresholds just to show you what it's like. So we click on that, click OK.